Love you blue, you know that we do. We'll always be true, 'cause we love you blue. Yes, we love you blue. Love you blue, you know that we do. We'll always be true, 'cause we love you blue. Yes, we love you blue. Love you when you're passing. Love you on the run. Love you scoring touchdowns. Oilers #1. Love you blue. You know that we do. We'll always be true, 'cause we love you blue.
Tighten up, y'all. Cleats clacking in the tunnel, about to be a fight. Blue crew is running through, dang, our team is tied. T-Rex looking hungry, must be time to eat. Let's kick it off and bring this rowdy crowd to their feet and tighten up, tighten up. Hey, Nashville, we're Tennessee, tough, get tough. You can find us everywhere, all across the nation. Rise to the occasion. Tennessee, it's time to tighten up.
There's nothing I feel, and I know that my heart will go on. We'll stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on.
What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to What's Shaking Titans. I am your host, Gary Bailey, and then joining me right over here, we got your co-host, none other than Matthew Massey. What's going on today, brother? How you doing?
What's up, brother, man? Not a whole lot. Just hanging out, ready to talk some Titans football. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, guys, unfortunately, we're having some issues on our end. That's the whole issue. The reason why we got a late start today. So we do apologize to everybody who normally tunes in to us. But, guys, we will have everything fixed out by next Friday. And we'll definitely have our other co-host, Matthew Maddox, in here with us. But, guys, unfortunately, we weren't able to get our streaming site working properly. So Matthew Maddox is not with us today. But with that being said, man, we got a lot to unpack here. So, Massey, man, huge news coming out of the bye week. We got to unpack that a little bit later on in the episode. But, man, let's just talk about some things real quick, man. One of the things I want to kind of mention, just kind of off the top of my head, is just want to give a huge shout out to Fanatics, bro.
Yes, sir.
So definitely go check out Fanatics. You can check out a link to all of our featured items on all of our social media pages from Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram. You can definitely go find a link to all the featured items. You can go on there, pick out one of those featured items, use code SMORE to get 30% off site-wide. Guys, we definitely want to thank everybody for joining us live right now. If you're watching us live on YouTube, please take the time to hit that subscribe button. Turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans, as well as give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and it will allow people to see our video and allow our video to pop up more often. So normally we go live on Facebook and YouTube, but we are having some issues going live on Facebook today, so we'll definitely get that worked out. But with that being said, man, let's hop into what's shaking around the NFL.
Let's do it.
All right, man, let's get this out right, bro. So, it's been a crazy past few weeks in the NFL, all around the NFL. We've seen some crazy games, some crazy scores. One of the most craziest thing is we're starting to see a bunch of starting quarterbacks, big name quarterbacks, go down with injuries, and so we're gonna kind of go over a few of these quarterbacks. Massey, man, what is your thoughts on Deshaun Watson and him being out for this week?
Yeah. So I believe he had started the Colts versus Brown game, and then something happened where I guess he had re-injured the same shoulder, the same injury he had previously. So kudos to him for at least trying to come back in there and play for his team, and also kudos to their backup as well for being able to, what a heck of a game, really. That was a great Colts and Browns game. It's definitely unfortunate for Watson to be hurt, but maybe he can get the rehab he needs and come back healthy and stronger than ever.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Deshaun Watson is, they paid him a lot of money to be able to go out and perform and do all these tasks, and I feel like he's kind of underperformed, at what they're paying him. But with that being said, this young quarterback they have behind him is doing pretty good. I mean, he was able to go out and beat the 49ers a few weeks ago. So, kudos to him. And, hopefully we get to see Deshaun Watson back on the field soon so we can maybe see what he has going forward. Another quarterback.
Let him earn that money.
Yeah, honestly, because I don't remember quite the numbers, but I know it's like $200 million, right? Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was a big amount.
Yeah, but another quarterback, guys, that is out for this week is Daniel Jones. So, what's your thoughts on Daniel Jones, man? And you want to kind of elaborate on his type of production, and if you think that this will be a hurt for the Giants?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't think we've been able to see their backup yet, or if we have, I haven't been able to check that out yet. But it's kind of up in the air whether it's going to be a good or a bad thing for the team, because we've seen it this season already. Backup quarterbacks coming in and getting the job done, which is pretty impressive. Considering that they're QB number 2s on the roster. So it could affect the Giants, or it could be something positive for them. And as far as Daniel Jones's production, I definitely don't feel like he's been producing all that well so far this season. But there is still plenty of games left to go. And again, with him, maybe he can get the rehab he needs, and if it's the right decision for the team, they'll bring him back in and see what he's got. Same with him. I don't think he got like a big contract or anything recently, but he's still getting paid quite a bit of money. So, you got to go out there and perform, and you got to earn that contract money that you're getting. So hopefully, he can come back stronger than ever. And like I said, maybe it'll help the Giants that their second string come in there and ball out. I'm not even sure who he is, but I think it's Tyrod Taylor, um,
Yeah, I think you're right.
which is a very decent second string quarterback. He's been all around the NFL and he's been balling out the whole time. So, you know, hopefully, it's a not necessarily a bad thing, and they still get production from the quarterback position. But let's see what the future holds for Daniel Jones as far as when he does come back from injury.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got a couple more quarterbacks to talk about here. But to kind of elaborate on the whole Daniel Jones thing, I mean, I think this is what his third year now,
Yeah, I
if I'm
believe you're right.
correct. So, I believe him personally. He probably had high expectations going into this year. So hopefully he's able to get back in here fast and maybe turn stuff around. I think Daniel Jones is one of those type of quarterbacks who you have to build a roster around, in order for him to kind of shine out a little bit. I don't think he's like the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen type of quarterback who you can just kind of put him in there and that quarterback can get you wins. But so hopefully they can get that figured out, and then hopefully Tyrod Taylor can pull some stuff off for them. If you're a Giants fan, me personally, and I'm probably sure from Massey here, we could care less. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Truth be told.
Truth be told. And then guys, we got Ryan Tannehill is out for Sunday's game against the Atlanta Falcons. We'll kind of break that down a little bit more later. And then, guys, the 49ers QB, Brock Purdy, he actually, he went down, I think it was with a hip injury, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And it really sucks because, I mean, you look at the 49ers, who we all thought was the team to beat in the NFL, and then they started stringing together injuries. Debo Samuel goes down, then Brock goes down, and
CMC went down for a little bit too.
yeah, hopefully they can maybe correct that. I hate to see a quarterback of his caliber go down like that. The good news is that Purdy was at practice today. He was a limited participant, and he is now listed as questionable for Sunday. So we might actually get to see him back on the field. What is your thoughts on Brock Purdy, and do you think that we'll see him play this weekend?
Yeah, man. Kudos to that guy. He has taken this league over by storm, and that would be a huge hit to the 49ers, in my opinion. If he's not able to go, and obviously that's not a hit towards their backup either. I'm not exactly sure who their second string quarterback is, but we've all seen Brock Purdy out there balling out for that team, and for them to lose two in a row, I believe the last two games. Obviously they're going to need a productive quarterback out there, and that's definitely Brock Purdy for them. So hopefully he does play. I'm not exactly sure the significance of his injury, but I feel like, with the report saying that he was limited participation in practice today, that's definitely a good sign for the 49ers. And his competitive spirit shows, so if he gets to make the call and he gets cleared by the doctors, I definitely see him playing. Obviously, with that being said, let's just hope that no reoccurring injury comes out of that. In case like he goes in too soon and needed like a week off or something like that. So hopefully he's able to go this Sunday, because the Niners are definitely going to need him. Especially losing two in a row like that. So going from one of the best teams in the league to now kind of like right in the middle as far as the standings go. So they definitely need him to go. What do you think about that, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, you always want your starters out there, especially if they're along the lines of Brock Purdy or like a Patrick Mahomes. You definitely want them out there. If they can affect the game, you want those players out there. But real quick, guys, from the Blue Abyss, we have none other than Blueface himself messaging us right now, and he said, Brock Purdy was never fully healthy. He was still hurt from last year. So that could be a huge reason why he's kind of struggling this year. He definitely started out the season strong, but You know, my big question is what do you think the 49ers have to do to turn around, this string of injuries?
They're gonna have to. I mean, unfortunately, that's kind of what they sign up for when you do enter the NFL. They fly around all over the field. They hit hard. They get hit hard no matter who they're playing. That's just football in general. But they gotta I don't know, maybe have better, safer scenarios going into the games. Maybe. I mean, that's a really hard thing to have an opinion on because, like I said, it is the NFL. So, as far as them being able to prevent injuries, maybe have them more hydrated going in, stretch a little more going in, a little harder during the week at practice to get them prepared to go into the games on Sundays and things like that. Something like that's going to have to happen for them to be able to not seeing their best players get injured. And also, like with CMC going down and then coming back as quick as he did, same with Brock Purdy, like Maddox said, he never was fully recovered. And these scouts and these teams and these doctors and stuff, they have rehabs and they have things like that for a reason because you have to let whatever injury you have heal before you can go back out there and get banged up again. A while back I heard, playing in the NFL every Sunday is like basically getting in a car wreck because, those hits, that's probably exactly what it feels like, So it's definitely a tough combat sport. And maybe, as far as them not necessarily their key players, but as far as the whole team and preventing injuries, find how to use other guys. Now I get CMC is very productive. I get Debo is a heck of a wide receiver. There's many options for him in the playbook and things like that. Same with Brock Purdy, but you're going to have to find a way to utilize your other guys to prevent your star players from getting injured.
Yeah. I absolutely have to agree. And guys, I just realized, thanks to Blueface, that our comments is currently disabled. I'm going to do what I can to kind of fix that real quick. I don't know if there's anything I can really do while we're live. But if there is, I'll definitely get that fixed. In the meantime, let's go into our next topic here. Contenders or pretenders, man? Who do you think is a contender in the NFL? What teams are contenders? And then we'll go to who we think are pretenders.
I mean, I definitely got to say the Eagles are 100% contenders. I mean, they just keep adding key pieces. You know what I mean? So the Eagles are definitely contenders, and really, the first 5 games of the season, both the Eagles and the Niners were 5-0. So we were thinking the same for the Niners as far as a contender. But looking at them, seeing that they've lost the last 2 games they played, and with their injuries and things like that, I got to go. Maybe the Niners are pretenders in this one so far. Yeah, you had a great start to the season, but like I keep saying, there's still a whole bunch of football left to play. So I would definitely go with the Niners. And I also feel like the Dolphins are kind of being exposed as well. Don't get me wrong; they're a very good team, and they're locked and loaded on some really good players. So I wouldn't say they're pretenders, the Dolphins, but I would kind of almost right in the middle. It's still early in the season. We still got a lot of football to play. They still got a lot of football to play. So we'll see. I'm going to go right in the middle as far as the Dolphins go. And really, let's see who the Chiefs. The Chiefs are definitely contenders. They have been for the last however many seasons. Let me think here. The Ravens. The Ravens. You would have thought maybe that they were pretenders, but they've been playing the heck out of some football lately too. So I would have to throw them in the contender side. Maybe you flip flop the Lions over from contender to pretenders because I know I'm only basing that off of one game and their one loss, but that that was a bad one. So yeah, Gary, what do you think on those?
Yeah, man. I think you're absolutely right with that, bro. Man, I definitely feel like the 49ers are, if they can get healthy, they're going to be contenders. You got the Detroit Lions. I'm still kind of on the fence. I
Yeah.
want to say that they're more leaning towards maybe pretenders, but they could also easily become contenders.
Yeah.
The Bills. I think the Bills are definitely a pretender this year, man. I don't feel as confident with the Bills as I have in years past. Dolphins, man. You said Dolphins were contenders, correct?
Yeah, yeah, I kind of put them right in the middle because they're a little bit back and forth, but they're such a stacked team, and with so much football left to play, I can't say they're pretenders, but it's hard to say they're contenders too,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, man, I think that I have to agree with that. I think you can put them right in the middle, but I think with their offense, man, their offense is definitely contenders. The question for me is going to be their defense.
Yeah,
What's your thoughts on that?
yeah. I mean, like you said, what a heck of a high-powered offense for sure. Uh, the Dolphins' defense, it seems like they've let them down. I believe the Dolphins have two, maybe three losses. I think maybe only two, but still, the two losses that they did lose. I mean, especially after putting up 70 points on a bad Denver Broncos team, which is a lot of points in the NFL. The defense still allowed the Denver Broncos to score 20 in that game. So, that game could have definitely went a different way if they just weren't on their A game completely. So the Miami Dolphins defense is definitely going to have to step up to contend with how good their offense is playing. Their defense has to match that energy and that level of play for them to be able to succeed and still get wins throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Guys, I'm about to try something out here. We're gonna see if this works. Boom, it works. We got the chat up and going. So definitely
Let's
let us
go.
know what y'all think in the comments real fast, guys. We definitely got the chat fixed. I'm happy. Let us know your thoughts. Yeah, man. I have to agree with you 100%. So let's go into our final topic here for what's shaking around the NFL. We're going to go top 3 active wide receivers in the NFL. And then we got Blueface in here. He said fixed. Yeah, we got it fixed, brother.
go.
Now, if we can just fix Riverside, we'd be great. Riverside, get your stuff fixed, man. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
for
on.
real.
We trying to do a podcast, and he's screwing us here.
Yeah.
Anyway, top 3 active wide receivers in the NFL. Let us know what you think in the comments. Massey. So I'm gonna go for my top 3. I'm gonna go Debo Samuels. I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill. And ooh man. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on my third one, man. What's your thoughts on your top 3? What?
Definitely, I was definitely gonna go with Tyreek Hill. I mean, that guy is freaking balling out. No matter what team he's on, just throw the ball up. He's gonna run under it. My number 2 would definitely have to be AJ Brown. Man, that guy's freaking balling out, dude, for sure. He's balling out big time. He hasn't. It don't look like he's slowed down a bit. From his Tennessee years, going straight into the Eagles. He's definitely, having more production over there. They're getting him the ball and things like that. So he's still killing it. For my third one, I might go like Justin Jefferson, or who's more for the Bears. I know the Bears aren't that great of a team this season, but he's been balling out over there, regardless of their win-loss record, and again, regardless of who's throwing him the ball, he goes after it and gets that thing too. So I'll have to go with those 3, man. Did you figure out what your third one was?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence here still, man. Because I think A.J. Brown is definitely a great receiver. Still a great receiver. But I'm going to have to lean probably more towards Justin Jefferson,
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for sure.
I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like if A.J. Brown, through his stint with the Tennessee Titans, wasn't injured as often as he was, then maybe we'd have a different story right now,
Right.
Definitely. So, Blueface said Madison Vikings.
He's trying to trade himself. Come back.
Yep. Blueface is trying to trade himself, But don't worry, guys. We'll keep him here. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, he don't know it, but we put a no trade clause in his contract.
Yeah. All right, guys. So with that being said, let's give a huge shout out to our affiliate sponsor, Fanatics, guys. Definitely hop on over to Fanatics. You can go actually on all of our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, YouTube. We have posts on YouTube about it as well. You can find our featured items for this week on all these platforms. Definitely go on over there, check out the featured items. Use code SMORE and get 30% off site-wide right now. With that being said, guys, let's keep the show moving on. It's time for our pick'ems. All right, guys, so here we go. This is our Week 8 pick'ems here. Man, guys, we were kind of on the same page on some of these games, but then some of them we were split. So I'm just going to go through it real quick. So me and Massey went Bucks over Bills. Of course, we lost that last night, unfortunately. It was a close game. Definitely some questionable calls in that game. I think there should have been 2 flags right there on that last play, offsetting flags, and they should have redone it. But honestly, I don't think it would have changed the outcome. Then you got the Rams versus Cowboys. We all 3 picked the Cowboys. You got Vikings versus Packers. We all 3 got the Vikings. Then Blueface got this. He has picked the Falcons over your Houston Oilers, where me and Massey here went with the Oilers. Saints, Colts. I went with the Saints. Massey and Blueface went with the Colts. Patriots, Dolphins. We all 3 picked the Dolphins. Jets, Giants. Blueface went with Jets. Me and Massey went with the Giants here. I will say, though, when I made this, I didn't realize that Daniel Jones was out. So I think that kind of changes everything, but it's a little too late to go back on that.
Yeah, it could or it could not. You never know.
Yeah, the facts. And then we got the Jags versus the Steelers. The actually does not exist versus the 69er 49ers here. And I'm going with the Jags, while Blueface and Massey are going with the Steelers. Then the Eagles, Commanders, we all 3 picked the Eagles. Texans, Panthers, we all 3 picked the Texans. Browns, Seahawks, I picked the Browns, while Blueface and Massey picked Seahawks. And then we all 3 picked the Chiefs over the Broncos. Then you got the Ravens versus Cardinals. We all 3 picked the Cardinals. Bengals, 49ers. We all 3 picked the 49ers. Bears, Chargers. So Blueface picked the Bears, while me and Massey went with the Chargers. And then for the last game here, Raiders versus Lions. Massey decided to be the Lone Ranger here and go with the Raiders, while me and Blueface went with the Lions. So guys, let us know in the comments right now, what is your thoughts on the Week 8 pick'ems? With that being said, let's go ahead and bring in our co-host back here. Wow, we just had a lot of comments pop up.
Let's go. And look, guys, I know yeah. Shout out to Blueface, bro. Wish you were in here for sure.
Yeah, huge shout out to Blueface, man. We really wish you were here. 100%. He said, ha ha ha, the champ is here. Let's see. We're having some. There we go. Bam. We're fixing it, guys. But yeah, so.
And look, guys, I know I probably got a little bit of explaining to do as far as my pick'em goes. And this is not a hit towards my dad, but my dad did help me do my pick'ems. Okay? And that is the only reason that for the first time this season in my pick'ems, I actually have picked an AFC South team to win. Because usually it's just me. I'm biased like that. Whatever other AFC South team is playing, I don't care who they're playing against, I'm picking the other team. Because that's just how I am. But I did go with the Colts over New Orleans. My dad definitely had a big influence on that pick, and really the way he broke it down to me kind of made it make sense. So I bit my tongue on that one for sure. And as far as the very last game, Detroit versus Las Vegas, I was for sure going to go Detroit, but my dad said Las Vegas, so I went with him on that one. And after we got done doing the pick'ems, Dad said we're going to go, 16 for 16. So I'm relying on my daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we already missed one there, fellas. So,
Well, he picked the Bills to win that one, so he was actually right.
oh, okay. You went against your daddy. Should have listened to your daddy, son.
I did it a couple times. There was a couple of them where I was just like, nah, I can't do it.
Oh man. All right, guys. So, with that being said, it's time to get into our game recap.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're getting into the game recap here, but guess what? There was no game last week. Your Titans are coming off of a bye week here, guys. So we're going to go over some bye week moves that happened during the bye week. That's going to be our recap. So starting out, your Oilers / Titans trade Kevin Byard to the Philadelphia Titans, I should say. They trade him for Terrell Edmonds, a 5th round and a 6th round draft pick in the 2024 draft. And then also your Oilers / Titans claim safety Kayvon Wallace off of waivers from the Cardinals. So with that kind of being said, we're going to play a quick tribute video. Once again, if you were watching from the beginning, you saw the tribute video to KB, but we're going to go ahead and play that one more time for everybody, and then we're going to kind of give our thoughts on this and break it down a little bit.
Titans fans, get your tissues ready.
Get your tissues ready. It's sad. And we can thank Blueface. Huge shout out to Blueface for making this video, and so if you want to cry and you want to blame somebody, blame Blueface.
There's nothing I fear, and I know that my heart will go on. We'll stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on.
All right, guys. Kevin forever. KB forever. Blueface said, "Who's Kevin?" Yeah. So, guys, this just in. Breaking news. We have breaking news. Your Tennessee Titans has officially traded Blueface to the Philadelphia Eagles. He is now known as Greenface. Joking, bro. I'm joking.
Blue, come back.
Baby, come back.
You can blame it all on Green.
All right, guys. So on a real note, though, let's kind of break this down. So, of course, once again, Kevin Byard goes to the Eagles for Terrell Edmonds and a 5th and a 6th round draft pick. This one stung, man. Like, I know we kind of talked about it a few weeks ago. I kind of mentioned it more so jokingly than anything, to kind of jab some jabs at some people. But, sure enough, man, it's what happened. Your Titans traded Kevin Byard. So let us know what is your thoughts on this, man? Like, everybody in the chat, let us know your thoughts on this. How do you feel about Kevin Byard going to the Eagles? So now the Eagles not only have Kevin Byard, but they got A.J. Brown, they got Marcus Mariota, they got Zach Cunningham, and I think maybe a couple others. Blueface, if you know, can you throw that in the comments for me real quick?
Half the Titans team.
Yeah, literally half the Titans teams are now Eagles. So, Massey, I know this one kind of stung you, man. You didn't believe us at first. Your brother had to talk you off the ledge. So,
Man.
we're going to open the floor and we're going to let you kind of talk about this, man, and how you feel, and do you think that this will actually benefit the Titans in the long run?
Yeah. So, I mean, you nailed it. My brother definitely did have to kind of talk me off the edge, and and not only him, but y'all have also made some great points. These are certain things that I really don't necessarily pay as much attention to as I should as far as like age and contracts and things like that. So for y'all and my brother to be able to, incite me in on those kind of things, about the NFL that I'm not necessarily aware of, it really does help me in the long run, to make more sense as far as like how I feel about it. And of course, that's Kevin Byard, man. I love that guy. He was so great for us. That being said, y'all all made great points. His production for us so far this season hasn't been the same KB we've seen the past 6, 7 seasons he's been with us. So it definitely still stings. But looking back at it, getting 2 picks and a younger guy that is he's a pretty good player. I obviously I went and checked his highlights as soon as I knew the trade was official and things like that. So this has to be a good step forward for all Titans fans, not just necessarily me, but for all of us to somehow, like figure out a way to be like, all right, that was a good idea, And then obviously you throw in the money talk, the age and things like that. We got a younger guy out of it, So let's hope that Rand is doing the right thing here. It's super stung, super sucked, to hear the news, to have the news confirmed and things like that. But as far as the future standpoint goes with this Titans team, I want to believe in Rand Carthon, and I know he's the one that makes those big decisions and stuff like that, aside from the owner and things like that. But he's the general manager, so he probably had like the final say so on it.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. It definitely hurts, but like I said, throughout the rest of the season, we'll see what we get from Edmonds, and then, much love and good luck to KB over there in Philly, bro. Like, I'm still going to watch him. I'm still going to, be a fan of his. I still watch AJ Brown's highlights. That's just how I am as a football fan in general. It definitely does sting, but we got to remember, guys, this is a business too, and it involves a lot of money. So these kind of things are going to happen. I just had to figure out a way to be okay with it. And like I said, my brother and you two, you and Maddox as well, y'all both have helped me understand more about what made it make sense for the organization to go in that direction. So, instead of staying so upset about it, that was helping me, like, in better terms, talking me off the ledge. Because you and Maddox seen it, dude. I was heated. I was so mad. I didn't want to be on my phone. I didn't want to read nothing else. Like, that was all I seen on Facebook for like 2 straight days. So, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better about it so far. And like I said, as the season goes on, we'll see what we got out of that trade. And hopefully it's a positive impact.
Definitely. And then we got Blueface coming in the comments. He said, good move, smart move for longevity. Like D-Hop said, it's a business decision. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's definitely a good move, smart move. Longevity, it gives you longevity. Terrell Edmonds, guys, like don't count this young man out. He's a first round draft picked, I think maybe 5th or 6th overall, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to kind of look that up, and I'll get back with y'all on that. But he has a lot of potential as long as he can stay consistent. I think that's been the biggest hit out on him, is just being consistent. So if he can start stringing together consistency, we'll see something from him. Right. And then of course we needed draft picks. We didn't have a lot of draft picks going into the 2024 draft, so it helps us out there. And then guys, let's just be honest. I mean, Kevin Byard wasn't as productive this year as we've seen him in years past, and I know that's hard to really kind of grasp or wrap your head around. But I mean, how many times this year did you hear, the commentaries call out Kevin Byard's name? You didn't really, maybe once or twice. Now he was making tackles and stuff like that, and kudos to him for that. But hopefully, I think this move is not only good for the Titans, but it's good for Kevin Byard, because this allows him to go to a team that has a chance of making it to the playoffs here, and maybe even to a Super Bowl. So maybe this was a nod to the Titans saying, hey, we know we can't get there, but, we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to do so. So I want to give a huge shout out to the, Miss Amy Adams Strunk and, Rand Carthon for allowing KB to go to an organization to where he might have that opportunity. And then, guys, in the comments again, Blue came in and he said, head over heart, always remember that in these moves. So, yeah.
Yep, it's a business, man. You got that, and that, like I was saying earlier, that's something that I had that y'all were able to insight me on, that I was able to understand afterwards and wrap my head around it. Like, for in the moment, obviously, I wasn't thinking, oh, it's a business, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I was more so just hurt because, like, he is and was one of my favorite Titans players that I've ever gotten the pleasure to watch. So, I mean, that's such a great point. This is a business, head over heart, and that's what the Titans, I hope that's what the Titans are doing. They're using their head over their heart.
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely agree with you there. And Blue gets in here and he says he wasn't going to re-sign, in my opinion, with us, changing his contract and the pay cut in the offseason. It was probably a mutual respect thing. So, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it definitely was a mutual respect thing between, the Titans and KB. I don't want to pull too much into this, but, we did hear Big Jeff's comments right after the London game, and it makes you wonder maybe if KB was one of those players who really just didn't want to be here. I know he loves this organization. That don't take nothing away from him, but I mean, this man put his all on the line for us. How many years in a row?
Yeah, I think 7.
7. He gave us his all, and we kind of lowball him the way we did during the off season. So yeah, I definitely agree with Blueface. I don't think he would have re-signed with us at all. So guys, let us know in the comments your thoughts on Kevin Byard going to the Eagles. And then with that being said, let's talk about Kayvon Wallace here. We get safety Kayvon Wallace off of waivers from the Cardinals. What is your thoughts on that, Massey?
I mean, I hope it's a good pickup. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to go like watch his highlights or anything, but I have read up on it a little bit, and I think he's another younger player. If we just let basically our best safety go, then the Titans are going to have to make these kind of moves to make it make sense. From a business standpoint and from a competitive standpoint, they have to make these big trades, these big name trades, make sense, not just from the business standpoint. They got to do it on the field too. So, I hope he does great, just like Terrell Edmonds, man. I really hope that, their play on the field makes these trades and this pickup makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I have to agree with you. My question for Kayvon here is, are you going to be able to come in, fit in with this team, and produce for us? That's a big question that we're facing. I did see a video where he dyed half his hair blue before the season started, so maybe deep inside he always wanted to be a Titan. Now he is, so let's see what you got, brother.
Yes, sir.
And then, guys, before we move on any further, let's go ahead and break down a couple trade rumors, and then we'll actually continue on. We'll preview the Falcons versus the Oilers here. But some trade rumors that are swirling around. We got some rumors going around of Derrick Henry possibly being traded by Tuesday, which is the deadline. Also, D-Hop is a name that's been going around. Traylon Burks is a name that's been going around. Nico Autry is a name that's been going around. So, Massey, what's your thoughts, man? If we start trading away all these people, do you think that the season's done for? Or do you think, with all these key players missing, that we still have a chance?
Yeah, well, I'll put it this way. I hope those big names, which basically every name you just said for us is a big name for us. I hope they stay rumors. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But also, no, like if we do, I know we've all been talking about it in our group chats and things like that. But for me personally, my opinion, we've only played 6 games out of a 17-game season. There is still a lot of football left to play. So if you're a general manager to a whole organization and you're shipping away these talented players that are making a difference on our team, then what are you saying to the rest of the guys? You're telling the rest of your guys that you have absolutely no faith in them to continue to carry on this team, you know? So in my opinion, only this soon in the season for these trade talks and things like that, which I get it, the trade deadline, there's always these crazy rumors and stuff like that that pop up. But for me personally, man, there's no way as an owner of an organization or even the general manager or a head coach, there's no way just 6 games going into your 7th game in the season that I would even consider moving these these big name players, because that's exactly the sign you're sending to the rest of your team if you do that. We have no faith in y'all. Our best bet is to go for a good pick in the next draft. Like, to me, that is not competitive. To me, that is not what the NFL is about. So I really hope that we keep the key players that we still have, fight it out for the rest of this season. And again, you know, I mentioned it earlier, I'm not 100% on board with like the money part of it, the salary cap, the contracts, or anything like that. So as far as that part goes, y'all will just have to forgive me on my takes. But in general, as a football organization, I just can't see us being this soon into the season, and then you let go of certain players. KB, it made sense, and hopefully it makes sense on the field later on down the season.
Yeah.
But going into your 7th game of the season, man, you still have plenty of football to play. We still have 5 divisional games this season that are going to make a difference, win-loss, whether or not we make the playoffs. So I say we keep our key players that we still have. We run this we run this team as hard as we can. We play as hard as we can. We go out there and compete instead of just going out there and showing up and then being okay with losing. To me, that's not competitive. To me, that's not what NFL is about. So, you know, I definitely hope that we keep the players that we have now and we push and we turn this whole season around. There's still plenty of football left to play.
Yeah. So let me kind of back you off the cliff here for a second. You know, so basically what Massey is saying is, don't you put this evil on me, Ricky Bobby. That's what he's saying, guys. I'm telling you. Yeah. Anyway, before I kind of break down and kind of go into some of these a little more in depth, let's go to our comments here. Talking about Kayvon, Blueface says he's definitely productive in his position, and he has championship swagger when he has won 2 with Clemson. And then he also says 7 games in. That's crazy, Gary. I think he meant Massey there. And then he said, "You're telling them they are the future." LOL. So let me explain this a little bit. So if we do, and I'm not saying we will, but if we do start trading these big names such as Derrick Henry, Danico Autry, D Hop, Traylon Burks, guys, it doesn't mean that Rand Carthon has lost faith, and that's not the message that he's trying to send, you know, forward to the players. All right, so what they're trying to do is we kind of talked about this earlier, you know, with the Kevin Byard trade. It's more so for longevity than it is short term right now. Because let's be honest, guys, yes, we're 7 games in already. But through those 7 games, can you tell me, and be honest, and don't speak from the fan side of you, speak from the honest side of you. Has the Titans showed you anything towards being a playoff contender at all?
Through 6 games, absolutely not.
So
but that's why I keep reverting back to we're only going into our 7th game of the season.
So with that being said, though, is we have a lot of holes in this team, both on offense and defense. Mainly on offense. I mean, we need a left tackle, we need a right tackle, we need a center. You know, we're definitely going to need a backup running back eventually to you know, kind of be with Spears if we get rid of Henry.
Right.
You know, then we need a wide receiver because Traylon Burks ain't getting it done. Kyle Phillips not getting it done. You know, so I mean, there's a lot of holes. And then you look at defense, and we need a cornerback. we need to replace Fulton. Now we need a safety, and hopefully, Kayvon can kind of fill those roles, or Terrell Edmond can fill those shoes. You know, but
Yeah.
you see where there's so many things that we need to address. All right. So the only way to really address these and be a contender, in the next year or 2 years, we have to let go of some of these big name players. We have to be able to bring in draft capital. We have to be able to trade some of these big name players. Like, honestly, guys, I wouldn't be mad if we traded some of these big name players if we actually address some of the legit holes that we need, like such as the O-line. Let's trade one of our top name starters for our top name starting O-lineman. That way we can
Right.
protect these young quarterbacks, and we can actually see what we have in them. That way we know whether or not we got to draft another one.
Right.
Because at the
Yeah.
rate we're going, we're not going to be able to figure that out because this O line is just trash. So, I don't think it's so much as Rand Carthon's trying to send a message to him that says, "Hey, we don't believe in y'all. We don't think you can get it done," as it is him saying, "Hey guys, like we want to build up a successful team around everybody because the game of football takes all 11 on both sides, especially when you don't have those like." Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Tom Brady's, luckily we got Big Jeff and Henry right now for now. I will say this though, Adam Schefter did report on ESPN earlier today that the Titans have not received any significant offers for Derrick Henry. So it is kind of unlikely that we'll see Henry shipped out, but don't take that to heart because it can always happen.
Right.
So just in case, guys, all we're trying to do is prepare y'all for more moves. I don't think
Put
we'll.
that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't you put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. So yeah,
I don't want to play no more.
he broke it in my nose, coach. But guys, honestly, that's all we're doing. We're trying to prepare y'all for anything that could happen, okay? Anything. I mean, I don't think we'll see anything happen before the Falcons game. I think it will be after the Falcons game on Sunday. And who knows, we might not see any more moves. Maybe Kevin Byard's the only move that we see. But in all likelihood, we probably will see one or two more moves. Just to either build draft capital or maybe bring somebody else to fill in one of these major holes that we have, especially on O-line.
Yep.
So, guys, with that being said, we're gonna get into our injury report. But before we do that, let's talk about Fanatics, guys. So, Fanatics is our affiliate sponsor. You can definitely go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, TikTok. You can find a link to our featured items of the week through Fanatics, guys. Go over there, check those featured items out. Definitely, if you like it, purchase it. Use code SMORE and get 30% off site-wide. Fanatics has an awesome brand, great material, guys. You will not be disappointed, so definitely go check them out. And then with that being said, guys, let's hop into our injury report.
Oh, baby, I'm black and blue. Oh, baby, I'm black and blue. Oh, baby, I'm black and blue. Oh, baby, I'm black and blue.
All right, guys, let's get into this injury report. So, for the Tennessee Titans / Oilers, Ryan Tannehill has been, and by the way, let me just go ahead and say this. These are all not official yet. They don't officially do them until, I think, after tomorrow or tomorrow sometime. But as of right now, we have Ryan Tannehill. He is out. We have Josh Wiley. He is also out. We have Roger McCreary is out as well. We have Naquan Jones. He is questionable. And then for the Falcons, we have Tay Davis, he is out, and they have a questionable in Bud Dupree. So, what do y'all think about those injury reports?
Man, I will say this. ESPN did kind of go out and say that, and this is like moments before we went live, that Ryan Tannehill is definitely out. But then again, guys, always remember it is most likely that Tannehill is out, but the Titans do not confirm that. Usually, sometimes they'll even wait up to like I think it's like 6 hours before the game. You know,
Yeah.
or not? No, I'm sorry, 90 minutes before the game. Sorry, because that's
Yeah,
when you
like
have
really,
to. That's when
really
you have
close.
to have them in officially.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize Bud Dupree was on the Falcons.
I didn't either until, we got this injury report.
Yeah,
It shocked me. I thought I was misreading it, and I thought, I was looking at a Titans player still.
I thought Bud Dupree had retired, man. So that's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Should have came back at Titans. Oh wait, he did because there's three Titans teams in the NFL. You got your Philadelphia Titans, you got your Atlanta Titans, and then you got the Titans Oiler Titans.
Breathe. Musa. Musa.
Woosa. Okay, guys, but on a legit note, let us know how you think these injuries will affect the game moving forward. I think Tannehill being out is a good thing for the Titans. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, but it's a good thing because now not only will we have a chance to see what Malik Willis and Will Levis can do with the starters, but we'll know what we have in both of them moving forward. Honestly, guys, I think Tannehill has rode that ship until it can't go no further. So I know Vrabel's been quoted saying multiple times that Tannehill's still the guy moving forward. But honestly, I think it's time that if we start getting rid of some of these big names, it's time to go ahead and just sit Tannehill for the year. Let's figure out what we got in these two young quarterbacks. But that's kind of getting into our next subject here. So previewing, guys, we're going to preview the Atlanta Falcons versus the your Tennessee Oilers. Let's start out with the coaches, man. Former offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, Arthur Smith, versus head coach Mike Vrabel. I think this is going to be a good matchup. Both of these people know each other really well. So it's going to be a very unique situation. I think Tim Kelly's going to have to pull some plays out of his butt. Hopefully he can do a good job with that. And then Mike Vrabel, ultimately has the call on everything. So, what's your thoughts on this matchup between Arthur Smith and Mike Vrabel, man?
Yeah, no, you said it. I was literally going to say the same thing as far as Tim Kelly and Vrabel goes. Like, Arthur Smith has a advantage. I mean, I know it's been a few seasons and things like that, but he's still very aware of how the Titans play and run their system. So, Vrabel and Tim Kelly, like you said, they're going to have to make these off the wall calls that nobody expects or nobody sees coming, or the play calls. So I agree with you. It definitely seems like it's going to be a really good matchup between the two. They're both really competitive head coaches, both very smart as well. So, definitely a good matchup between coaches this week for sure.
Sorry, guys, I didn't realize my mic was muted there. So, yeah, definitely, man. I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be a good matchup between them. Let me ask you this, man. Out of the two, Arthur Smith and Mike Vrabel, who do you think's the better head coach?
Uh, I'd definitely say Vrabel. But that being said, Arthur still has a lot of time to prove me wrong on that. You know what I mean? I think this is only his second or third season as the Falcons head coach. So he's still got plenty of time to turn that narrative around. But as far as Vrabel, which one's better, I'm going to definitely go with Vrabel just because of his history and his success. To be able to come in here and pretty much turn this team around, and he's the first head coach, I think, since Jeff Fisher that stayed with the team more than like 1 or 2 seasons. Because I'm sure y'all remember we went through like 14 different head coaches that first name was Mike. And the last one we got, we've been able to stick with him and ride it out. Excuse me. So I'm definitely going to go with Vrabel on that one. What's your take on that, Gary?
Yeah, I like what we had in both of them. I really wish that we still had Arthur Smith here in Tennessee as our offensive coordinator. Of course, a lot of times you don't get that in the NFL. Sometimes you do, if your name's Bill Belichick, and but hey, what the hey? At the end of the day, I think Arthur Smith is a good coach, but honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like Vrabel kind of edges him out just a little bit. A lot of that has to go with the production that we got from Mike Vrabel as soon as he stepped in as our head coach versus, of course, when Arthur Smith took over the Falcons, they were in a complete rebuild. So, it's really hard to say who's the better, legitimately, but I think you have to lean towards Vrabel on this one, man.
Yeah, just solely based off of success and history so far as a head coach. But like I said, Art still has a lot of coaching and football ahead of him where he can turn that whole narrative around on us.
Yeah, definitely there. And one other thing I want to ask you, man, is who do you think has their team set up for success now most? Is it the Falcons or is it the Titans?
Uh, well, I mean, obviously, I know more about the Titans as far as that question goes than I do the Falcons. And it's obviously not looking too great for our team right now. Um, so I don't know. Ritter over there in Atlanta, he looks pretty good. Um, I think they got a pretty good elite receiver too, and then they got I believe they have Bijan Robinson, the running back.
Yeah.
He's really good as well. So as far as success throughout the rest of the season, I think the Falcons are a 3-win team, ain't they? Or am I wrong on that?
I think you're right, actually.
So,
I'll actually
so
look that
yeah,
up real quick if you want to continue
yeah,
taking your
for
pick.
sure. Yeah. So if they have more wins than us, in the same amount of games in the season, you got to say, as of right now, as the standings stand, you got to say the Falcons. Art Smith has it going on better over there for the Falcons, and also, you're seeing Vrabel and Rand. They're having to, make that Kevin Byard type trade and things like that. You're not really seeing the Falcons having to do anything like that. You know what I mean? So you gotta hand that one to the Falcons and Art Smith over there because I think their win loss record is one game better than us as of right now, but it's still a better record. Like I said, they're not having to trade big player key names or any big key players, big names over there. As far as I know, now if I'm wrong on this, I apologize. But as far as I know, they're pretty much sticking with what they have as of right now. And it takes a good coach to be able to do that and not necessarily have to worry about trading your big name players.
All right, so you said they were one game. They're actually two games ahead of us. The Falcons are 4-3 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so kudos to them, man.
Yeah.
They last week they beat the Buccaneers, by a field goal. That was a close game. If you go check out the 615 podcast from Lee Hills on the Titan Upload Network, I kind of co-host with him on that. You can kind of go on there. That was definitely one of my top 5 games of the week.
Yeah.
And of course, so was the Browns and Colts. That was a good
Yeah,
game
that was
as
a
well.
heck of a game, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, yeah, I mean this game can go either way, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Oilers uniform back on the field. So a little fun fact here, I found out today. Did you know that this will be the first time ever since we became the Tennessee Titans and played in Nashville that we will wear the official Oilers blue uniform
At home?
at home? We never
Oh,
wore
wow.
them. So when
No, I did not know that.
ever since we moved, it would be the first time. So when in 90, I think it was 96, 97, and 98, we wore the white uniforms. We never
Yeah.
wore our blue uniforms at a home game. So
Right. Wow.
this
That's an interesting stat.
yeah, I found that out today on 104.5 The Zone. I think it was the RKW show. So huge shout out to them and Mike Keith for coming on and kind of, elaborating on that a little bit. I didn't know that, dude.
Yep.
Like I
Yeah,
really didn't.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, we've been saying something needs to we need to change and something needs to give. Maybe it's going to be these uniforms.
I
You
hope
know, I
because
mean, I know that's probably wishful thinking, but heck,
yeah, because I mean, this is like this will be the first time, and since we became the Tennessee Titans that we really actually recognize the heritage of this team. And I know a lot of people feel like, oh well, the Titans are the Titans, they're not the Oilers. Well, guess what, the guys, Bud Adams owned the Oilers. Bud Adams moved the Oilers to Tennessee. Then we had a name change to the Tennessee Titans, which means we were the Oilers. So I mean, I think it's awesome that we're recognizing, the heritage, where the teams come from, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome to see all the former Titans alumni out there. There's going to be a total of 170 or 177 former players from the Oilers days all the way up to your 2019 Titans. I know we'll be seeing Vince Young out there, Lindell White, Warren Moon, Chris Johnson. There's going to be a lot of players out there, so it's going to be really awesome to see. We'll have, of course, I think Jarrell Casey is set to be there as well.
yeah.
So it's going to be
Hey, I
really
got
awesome.
a little cool side note too, as far as the uniforms go. I found out today that the Seattle Seahawks will also be previewing a new throwback jersey as well. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. And then guys, let's keep this train rolling on here. Let's talk about the big controversy this week and last week. Talk about it. So we're gonna talk about it. We got you. Of course, Ryan Tannehill is out, which means we have to figure out which QB is going to go. Mike Vrabel came out and said in the press conference early this week that we should expect to see both quarterbacks in Malik Willis and Will Levis play throughout this game. He also got quoted saying that, we might see them go out for a series, so they might swap every series or they might swap every other series, but we will be seeing both of them play. I know a lot of people are assuming that Will Levis will be the primary quarterback. However, Vrabel said he never said that, but that we should expect to see both quarterbacks play. So let's talk about Malik Willis versus Will Levis here. Because I think in my opinion, I think a lot of fans are getting too high up on Will Levis. And I'll kind of save my takes to kind of go back and talk after you give your thoughts on this quarterback battle. So what's your thoughts on these two quarterbacks, Massey?
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there. Like how, I mean, I get it. You want to have those high hopes for your rookie quarterback that we just drafted. That's like the whole storyline behind it. That's what we want, obviously. But I don't understand what all these Will Levis lovers are basing their opinions off of as far as how good he is or isn't in the NFL. We have not seen it. You cannot count that first preseason game. I mean, you can't, dude. I mean, they were swapping back and forth. I think he got injured. You know what I mean? Like, you can't necessarily. And also, it's a preseason game. He's not playing against number ones. He's playing against 2s and 3s and 4s or whatever it is. So as far as the Will Levis goes, yeah, obviously as Titans fans, we want him to come in there and ball out. But you can't go into it with like the mindset of like, yeah, he's the answer to all our problems. That's just like impossible. You have nothing to base that off of. In my honest opinion, I definitely think, and I could be way wrong. I guess we'll see, Sunday. But in my honest opinion, I believe utilizing both of them in certain situations is going to be the best bet. Now, as far as Malik Willis goes, yes, he still needs progression. He still needs production and things like that. But man, that guy can throw the ball and he can get out of the pocket. Now, I've been saying this. I'll stick firm with it. I don't agree with his first thing being breaking out of the pocket, but at the same time, when you're playing quarterback behind the O-line like that, I can't say that wouldn't be my first initial, instinct too. Like, let me get the heck away from these big dudes running at me, and he's got the mobility to do that. When he does do that, or if he is able to become more of a pocket present type quarterback for us, then I think we will start seeing the quarterback play out of him that we expect and that we hope for. I mean, he's definitely yeah, I mean, if you look at the win-loss record for Malik for us, that part's not good. But if you go back and you watch the plays and you look at how hard he does play for us, even I mean, there's been a few where you just knew he was going to get sacked, and somehow he breaks out of that, and then he gets his head down the field and he throws it. You know what I mean? These are things that a second-year quarterback is able to do that our 12-year veteran quarterback is not able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to find a way to get rid of that ball. I know this is a little off topic, but I watched 2 or 3 different plays from Baker Mayfield last night where he almost got sacked, and he figured out how to get the ball out of his hands.
Talk
And not
about
take
it, bro.
no sacks. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's doable. And, you know, and that says enough in itself. Like, you know, 12-year veteran, I get it. You know, we've said it. You'd probably be scared, you know, to throw the ball, or you'd probably hold on to it too if you were playing behind that O-line. But look at all these other quarterbacks, the younger ones, the 4 or 5-year veterans. They're able to get rid of the ball. They don't care if it's an incomplete pass. You know, I mean, maybe that's something that Tannehill feels, you know, being a 12-year vet. Like, he's so worried about his statistics and his interception to touchdown ratio and things like that. You know, if that's the case, he needs to worry about how many sacks he's taking a game. Get rid of the ball. You know what I mean? Like, it only makes sense. So I definitely feel like it's going to be best to utilize both quarterbacks. And then obviously, you know, if Will goes in there and he has a great drive all by his, you know, only him in that drive, then yeah, keep him in there and see what he can do. And then and same with Malik. If he goes in there, has a great couple of drives, keep him in there. You know, there's no sense in switching back and forth between them if one of them is giving you the production that you need. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and then guys, real quick before I give my take on this, let's go to the comments here. We got Titans Kong, so huge shout out to Titans Kong. Thank you for joining us here on What's Shaking Titans. He said, "I just don't want Derrick Henry to leave us." Disappointed face. Yeah, well, like I said, according to Adam Schaffner on Sports Center earlier this morning, that the Titans haven't received an adequate offer for Derrick Henry. So it is, in his opinion, that it is unlikely that we see a trade for Derrick Henry. So hopefully what he says is true, and we don't see that. Because I agree with you, man. It would suck to see Kevin Byard and Henry go, especially before the season ends. We already seen Kevin Byard leave. I don't want to have to see Henry leave either.
I will literally cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no joke. I will cry.
Why do you have to do that to us, man?
Like, I was lucky enough to be able to have 2 authentic Derrick Henry jerseys, man. And obviously, no matter what happens as far as his future goes with the team, I'm not getting rid of these jerseys. They're here forever. You know, maybe when my kids get older, they can have them, and by then, you know, he should be a Hall of Famer by then, in my opinion. But yeah, man, I definitely agree with you, Titan Kong, man. We don't want to see Henry go. And again, I'll revert back to like the whole contract, the money dispute, and things like that. I'm not as up to date on that maybe as I should be, but just from a diehard Tennessee Titan and diehard Derrick Henry fan, I just can't imagine that man not playing for the Titans.
Yeah, definitely. You said it right there. And then, guys, to kind of get us back on topic here, you know, we were talking about the battle between Malik Willis and Will Levis. So we heard Massey's take on it. I want to kind of give my thoughts on this, you know. I feel like when we look at Malik Willis and Will Levis, we're semi looking at the same type of quarterbacks. They're both mobile quarterbacks. You know, they both kind of struggle in the pocket. You know, that's one thing that we knew about Will Levis coming in to the draft was that he struggled with his accuracy from the pocket. So it'd be, you know, kind of interesting to see, you know, if he can fix that or not. I know, Massey, you said you really can't go off of what we've seen in the preseason game, but we kind of have to go off what we've seen from them in the preseason game. Just because that's the only game that we got from Will Levis. So if we go to that game, to that first preseason game, you know, they were neck and neck in stats. They both got sacked 4 times. They both threw an interception. You know, they both had about the same amount of yards. And I think both of them was able to kind of run a scoring drive. So with that being said, guys, I really feel like if you're going into this game expecting, and that's, you see the sirens on, guys. I'm trying to warn y'all. If you go into this game expecting Will Levis to be the savior for this team, your hopes are gonna be let down. And I'm just saying that because here's the thing: if a 12-year vet can't get out there and perform behind this O-line, what makes you think that a rookie who hasn't had no game experience at all can do the same, or can go out here and do better? Guys, I'm trying to tell you right now, until we address the O-line problems, we're not going to be able to see development from either two of these quarterbacks. Everybody's like, oh, well, we ain't seen no development from Malik Willis. Why do you think you haven't seen the development from Malik Willis? Do you think it's because the offensive line is giving him time to go through his progressions and throw the ball down the field? Go back and look at those 4 sacks that he took. Malik Willis kept those plays alive 90% of the time, while that O-line was getting demolished because the Ravens decided to blitz. And I'm not saying that Malik Willis is a better quarterback than Will Levis. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying Will Levis is a better quarterback than Malik Willis. What I am saying is if you have hopes that Will Levis can go in here and he just, boom, automatically the switch is flipped and the Titans season is saved, guys, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it's highly unlikely to see like 2 Brock Purdy type situations within a couple seasons.
Yeah. And
that's kind of what that would be.
Well, I mean, but you got to realize, though, when Brock Purdy took over, what did the San Francisco 49ers have in front of him?
Very good offensive line.
What does the Titans not have in front of them?
An offensive line.
I mean, guys, it's like we went to the local high school and borrowed their O-line each Sunday to play these games, and it's just not working. I mean, this O-line couldn't stop my 8-month-old twins from rushing the quarterback, and I'm just being honest.
They got some mean stiff arms, I'm just saying.
Then let's go to our comments yet again. We got Titans Kong commenting. He says, I believe Derrick Henry deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as Titans and
break Eddie George's record.
Basically beat Eddie George's record, rushing record. Sorry, I kind of stumbled on that for some reason. To kind of elaborate on that, Massey, you said you had some authentic jerseys. Well, I actually got to go, and this is before his 2,000-yard rushing season. It was right after we benched Mariota. I actually got to go, and me and my wife had a sit-down dinner with Derrick Henry and his girlfriend. It was phenomenal. I mean, amazing. We sat there and we watched the Cowboys versus the New York Giants. We talked football. We talked running backs. It was really awesome. Just to
that is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
bro.
It was. And then, I also have a hand autographed football by Derrick Henry. So, and it's, it's authentified. So there we go.
Let's go. That is awesome.
And then, real quick, want to go back to the comments. Titan Kong's in here again. He says, Will Levis had a bad O-line at Kentucky as well, too. Some of his best and worst stuff I want to see either or succeed. I believe Malik Willis is more mobile and Levis is more of a drop-back guy. Well, yeah, and, we kind of had this debate amongst our group, the other night. I think I can get where you're coming from that, but if you really go and you study, Will Levis from his college playing, he was more of the mobile type. He would escape the pocket and create plays with his legs. They compared him to quarterback of the line of Josh Allen, With that being said, when he did drop back and pass, the ball from the pocket, was a lot of his worst plays. It's when his inaccuracies started showing up. Now, hopefully, of course, we're only 7 games into the season. Hopefully, maybe our coaching staff could have corrected some of those things, whether it was footwork, or something like that. Only time will tell. We'll find out Sunday. But yeah, I could definitely see where Malik Willis has the edge, and in the mobility aspect of it. But I do believe that they're both, they're both the type of quarterback who, if the opportunity presents itself, they're going to run first before pass. You know,
Yeah, and I want to agree with Titan Kong, as far as the Will Levis and having a bad line in Kentucky, but I just can't, because there's a reason you go from Pee Wee to high school to college and then to the pros, because it's a higher level of competition. So yeah, I mean, we can go back and look at what he did with Kentucky in a college system, but that's not going to matter playing against these big, fast dudes in the NFL. That, I mean, like I said, it would have been a great point, but it's just a higher level of competition from college to the NFL, and that shows. I mean, that showed in a little bit of the preseason game we got to see from Will Levis.
yeah, and to kind of elaborate on that, before I read this next comment, you know, it's like when we sit there and we talked about Will Levis, or you hear local media such as 104.5 or national media, when you hear them talk about Malik Willis, you never hear them talk about how he performed. You might hear us talk about it a lot, how he performed during the preseason, but if we can't say, hey, Malik Willis balled out in the preseason because he didn't play starters, then we can't really sit here and say, well, Will Levis will have that same type of production that he had in college in the pros. So I get where you're coming from. And then let's go to our comments real quick. Huge shout out to Titans Kong. He's killing it in the comments, brother. We definitely appreciate you. We love you for that, man. He said, true at Penn State, right? ? I forgot about that. My apologies. So no apologies needed, man. Hey, we're just talking here. And then he said Malik does have a cannon for an arm. And so this is something I kind of debated with a buddy of mine from the Bryson Haley show. He was saying that that Will Levis had a stronger arm and a better deep pass than Patrick Mahomes and Malik Willis. And I had to disagree, man, because if you go back and you watch Malik Willis's pro day throw, I mean, that boy bombed that ball down the field like it was nothing. It was nothing. Will Levis had to take time to develop that pass, man. And I'm not saying that either one has a stronger arm. They both have a great arm. But Malik does have a cannon for an arm. Let's not forget some of them nice sidearm passes that he made, last year.
Patrick Mahomes-esque.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes-esque type plays out there, And mark my words, if this young man and Malik Willis can ever put 1 and 2 together, he's going to be a dangerous quarterback in this league, whether it's for the Titans or another team somewhere else. If he ever puts 1 and 2 together and he develops into more of a pass-first quarterback, and guess what, guys? Let me go out and say this. When Lamar Jackson, VIP Lamar Jackson,
talk about it,
or MVP, sorry, I said that wrong. MVP Lamar Jackson came into the league, guess what? He was not known for passing the ball. He was a run-first quarterback. It took time for him to develop into a pass-first quarterback. You look at yours truly. Point to him right up there, number 9. Point to him, bro. Point to him. Yep.
Yeah.
Steve McNair. Guess what? When he came into the NFL, what was he known for? Was he known for passing?
No, sir. Mobile quarterback.
He was known to be a mobile quarterback.
Titan Kong made a great point in the comments there.
yeah. You want to read it, man? You actually, read both of them. We'll start with the one right under the cannon arm.
Got you. Yeah. So Titan Kong in the comments, man. Again, we appreciate you, man. You're killing it in the comments. He says, I despise how Titans get bashed by national media, and I couldn't agree with you more on that one. That's been happening for so many years. And he also says Malik Willis needs to study Mike Vick. I couldn't agree with you more.
Talk about it, bro. Facts.
That's a similar thing than what we were just talking about. Mike Vick came in the league just like a Lamar Jackson, just like a Steve McNair. But look how he produced as a passing quarterback. And when he needed to, he used his legs. That wasn't like his first thought, break out of the pocket and go down the field. He got to where he was able to use his progressions and look and see what was down the field. And even if he did break out of the pocket, he still kept his head up and he still looked down the field to get them balls out. So yeah, that's a really good comment right there. I like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And, another quarterback that I feel like Malik Willis can kind of study from is a Randall Cunningham, man. Randall
Yeah.
Cunningham was before his age. I mean, he played in what I think the late '60s, early '70s for the Eagles. And, boy, you talking about Michael Vick before Michael Vick. Like, I'm
Yeah.
serious. If you have not watched any Randall Cunningham highlight reels, when this podcast is over, go check that out. But before you go and leave this podcast, make sure, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, that you take the time to hit the subscribe button, as well as turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans, as well as give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video and we'll pop up more often. And then back to our conversation here.
Let's go. That was smooth. Let's go. That was awesome.
That's what happens when you get experience, guys. It just
That's
bam.
right. Take note. Take note, guys. Take note.
Yep, we coming for it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely go check out some some Randall Cunningham highlights, because that's also another quarterback who started out predominantly using his legs and then developed into a passer quarterback. And there's more. I mean, really, you can go on and on. The list really goes on and on. But most of your mobile quarterbacks will start out using their legs because it takes time to develop the attributes such as footwork, such as arm angles and timing, and reading and going through progressions, because those are things that they weren't used to doing beforehand. Lamar Jackson, it took him almost 3 years to get to where he was known for passing the football. And even in his third year, guess what? People were still questioning him. Why do you think when it was time to re-sign Lamar Jackson that there was a big question mark? Why do you think that people thought that he was going to go elsewhere? Because they never thought that he would be able to develop into a passing type of quarterback. So, don't ditch on Malik Willis, or Will Levis. I mean, because you really don't know what they can offer. I mean, right now, guys, we can't judge these quarterbacks because it's the O-line that is causing them to look like crap. I mean, if you literally have less than 1.5 seconds to drop back, that means if you really do the time to count it out, by the time you take a 3-step back, which is a normal drop back for a quarterback, by the time you hit your back foot, they're getting pressured. They have a defender in their face. Guess what? If you're Malik Willis or Will Levis, you're going to try and run and escape that to try and create more time. So
Yeah, you have to, or you're gonna get smacked just like Tannehill's been getting all season.
talk about it. Hey, you want to go to the comments, man, and read those next 2 comments by Titans Kong for us?
Yes, sir. We got Titans Kong back in the comments again. He says, Will Levis reminds me of a low ceiling Kirk Cousins, and at a high ceiling question mark, he can maybe be a Justin Herbert. That's funny.
He's a
That
Kirk
is
Cousins
funny.
cousin. He's Kirk Cousins' cousin.
Sponsored by Mayo. Anyway. All right, and another comment from Titan Kong. Also, I hope Roger McCreary is okay. Do you think he'll play on Sunday? I feel like defensively, this has got to be our game, regardless if it's Ritter under center. Also, we got to keep our eyes on Bijan. What do you think about that comment, Gary?
Yeah, man. I think Roger McCreary needs to get healthy. I believe he is available for this game. I'm not 100% sure on that. Massey,
Let me double check real
Okay, we're gonna double check on that real fast. But yeah, if he's able to play, man, hey, we need you to go out here and we need you to step up. We lost
He is out.
He is out. Okay, so
Yep.
so he is out. So I mean, now we really need either Terrell Edmonds, who we got in a trade for Kevin Byard, or Kayvon Wallace here to really step up, man, and just fill those shoes of KB. We already struggle in the secondary with Fulton, and now we lost a piece in KB. So, it's gonna be tight. But I think we definitely got the 2 pieces in here to kind of help that secondary out. My biggest concern still has to be with Kevin Byard on defense. If we're strictly speaking defense here. Yeah, because, here's the thing, guys. Every time we faced a team that has a good defense, which the Falcons have a good defense, which is our next kind of subject we'll get into. But every time we face a team that has a good defense and an okay quarterback, guess what's happened to us? That quarterback has looked elite against us.
Yep.
So you go back and let's look at the Browns game. Deshaun Watson looked terrible up until that game, and then he looked like MVP Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Lamar when we were facing Lamar. I mean, Lamar looked sharp, and then you go and look at what the Ravens did to the Lions, and that's another thing. You can't sit here and get mad at Malik Willis for not being able to put up points in that game. Look, what happened with the Detroit Lions?
Yeah.
Detroit Lions is a top 5 team in the NFL, guys. Come on. So you really get mad at Malik Willis for not being able to put up points? I mean,
Right.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, and to go back on the part of that one comment, he says, "I feel like defensively this has to be our game, regardless of who's behind center for the Falcons. 100%,
100%,
100%. We got to come out swinging, no matter like he said, no matter who's behind center, go after them. You know what I mean? I definitely agree with that one too.
Yeah, keep going in those comments, bro.
Yeah, you did, and also that same comment too. You definitely got to keep an eye on Bijan. He's a heck of a running back. And moving forward, Titan Congo says Terrell Edmonds can play safety or linebacker, and Wallace is pure safety. Either or, our defense should have their work cut out for him. That's true.
Yeah.
Moving forward, he also says Titan Kong also says, I believe we contained Lamar pretty good in certain situations. We did, but we still lost the game. So.
Yeah, a huge shout out to Harold Landry, because there's a play I remember clearly where Lamar broke the edge on us, and if it wasn't for Harold Landry tripping him up, man, that would have been another touchdown. So
Right.
Huge shout out to him. I know a lot of people are down and out on Landry this year, but guys, coming off of an ACL tear, if you've never had that happen, then you don't understand. Like, it takes time to build up, not only mobility and function back in the knee, but to get to where you're playing at such a high caliber, like, these defensive linemen do, then, it takes time. Okay? It takes time. Usually, coming off an ACL tear, once they return, it takes about another year after that for them to start being their normal selves again. So, I just kind of want to throw that out there. He's definitely right. At times, we did kind of contain him. But then there was times where Lamar Jackson was just able to kind of run all over the place,
Yeah, Lamar doing Lamar things.
Exactly. So, hey, Kong, while you're in here, man, let's ask you this, bro. Out of the Atlanta Falcons and your Tennessee Oilers, wink, wink, who has the better offense and who has the better defense? So I'm going to shoot this over to you, Massey, and what's your thoughts on this? Who do you think has the better offense and who do you think has the better defense?
That's a very, very good question. And I'll probably get cussed out at, in the comments or whatever later on down the road for certain people that are going to watch this podcast. But no, I'm going to go. Our defense. I know the Falcons have a top 5 defense. So like I said, I'm probably going to get shot in the foot on this one. But with our players and, our front defensive line and things like that, we should have the better defense. And I'll even say that as far as our offense goes. But to pick between the both, I'm going to say our defense is better than their defense, and their offense is equal or maybe just a hair better than ours. If I'm able to go that route. I mean, that's a really, really good question and really hard to depict. Like I said, they have a top 5 defense, I believe. So, I'm right in the middle. Obviously I want to say we have a better offense and better defense, but we just can't say that right now. It's just, especially not with our offense. Now our defense still has time Obviously, losing KB was a big hit, a very worrisome hit. But like I said earlier in the podcast, let's hope that the guys we brought in, in the trade, and then also we picked up off the waivers. Let's hope they make sense out there on the field for us as far as our defense goes. And then you hit at it earlier as far as our offense and the offensive line. We got to figure something out with that. So I'll go. Excuse me. I'll go. Titans have a better defense, and the Falcons have a better offense.
So you definitely bring up some good points there. Guys, I'm going to kind of reel this in once more. So if you look at the stats here, so of course the Atlanta Falcons defensively has the edge over your Tennessee Titans defense. They have more sacks, they have more tackles. So the edge goes to the Falcons on defense. But here's a statistic that's going to blow your mind. And I tell you, I know this because I know people, okay? So, anyway, no, on a legit note, though, guys, the Tennessee Titans have been able to score more points per game than the Atlanta Falcons. And that's kind of mind-blowing, especially when you kind of go through the last 6 games and you see, the type of production that we've had offensively. I think the Atlanta Falcons are at, I think, either 14.5 or 15.6 points per game, while the Tennessee Titans are at, I want to say 17.2 points per game. So, if you ask me, I'm going to go towards the Titans having the better offense with the Falcons having the better defense here.
Yeah, really, now that I think about it, I definitely went backwards on that one.
Well, yeah, honestly, if you think about it and you just from watching the games, I don't blame you for saying that or anybody else who would say that, because if you look at if you look at the type of production that we've had on offensively for the Titans, you can't say your first instinct is to say, oh, well, every team's better than us, But yeah, this Falcons team has struggled offensively, according to the stats. But stats are just numbers, it's just paper. At the end of the day, it's what happens on the field.
We got an answer from Titan Kong in the comments on that question as well.
All right, so I'm going to let you go ahead and read that. Give me a second. I got to refresh my comments section.
No worries. You want me to go ahead and start reading it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so Titan Kong, to answer the question as far as the better offense and better defense, he said, I think we have both. We have the potential to be better on both sides of the ball. It's whether we execute everything on point. They have a better O-line than us, but we took on some good O-lines. Those are very great points.
Yeah, it really is.
And also, we have Clowney Super Bowl hopping in here in the comments. He says, Jake Locker is probably my favorite, to be honest. And then also Titan Kong, he brought up the points per game average for the Falcons versus the Titans, or not versus the Titans, but to compare the two, the Falcons are only averaging about 16 points per game, and the Titans are averaging, I think, a little over 17. So, yeah, those numbers don't lie, and let's hope those statistics live up to their words in this game against them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 100. Guys, I think this is, like I said, this is one of those games that is, on paper, can go either way. It can go Falcons, it can go Titans. I definitely understand where Kong is coming from. Huge shout out to Clowney saying, Jake Locker is his favorite. Wow. Yeah. Great comment there, buddy. And then, I thought it was somewhere around in the 14, 15, 16 range for the Falcons. So thank you, Kong, for clarifying that. So let's talk about key matchups. What are some key matchups between the Falcons and the Oilers that we need to really focus on in this game, or that the Titans need to win in order to pull out the victory here?
Yeah, Titan Kong hinted at it earlier. Bijan Robinson, we that him against our defensive line, in my opinion, is a key matchup. Like they're gonna have to get him stopped initially at the line of scrimmage because he's a really good tackle breaker. So and also if he gets to the outside, he's gonna try and get down the field as hard as he can. So I definitely feel like their running back versus our defensive line is going to be a really good matchup. And also, I know they're not necessarily on the field at the same time, but whichever quarterbacks that play for us versus whichever quarterback plays for the Falcons, that's going to also be a good key matchup too, because that's going to determine, you know, it's kind of going to show us what we're going to have for the rest of the season or until Tannehill's able to come back. And also, it's going to give the Falcons some answers as far as who they're going to go with in the future with their quarterback, too. So, I feel like the quarterbacks and then Atlanta Falcons running back versus our defensive line, in my opinion, are going to be really good matchups.
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely agree with you there. One thing I would like to say is before we go into the comments again, we do have Tierra Tart back. I do have Blueface calling me, sorry. We do have Tierra Tart coming back, so I think that's going to be a positive for the Titans defense as far as, run defense goes. So, I believe that we'll be able to pin him up and maybe not allow so many explosive plays in the run game. I think we'll have to force Ritter to beat us with his arm. And hopefully our secondary can come up with some turnovers here. I know Sean Murphy Bunting with the interception on Lamar Jackson last week. Hopefully he can kind of keep that momentum moving forward for him. So these are some of the matchups that I think we really got to pay attention to. So it'll be the Falcons running game versus Tierra Tart and this Titans defensive line. I agree with you 100%. It's going to be the Titans secondary versus Ritter and the Falcons receivers. And then the main matchup that I really want to kind of throw out there is the Falcons secondary. They are already, I want to say, maybe 6 interceptions, 5 or 6. I'm not 100% sure, guys. I don't have my stats up. I do apologize. We've actually had a lot of issues. We lost our studio for a whole entire almost 2 weeks, and so literally lost everything that I had on my computer. So if you do know how many interceptions the Falcons have all total this season, definitely let me know in the comments. But it's definitely more than what we have. I'll say that. I think we've had 2 all year long.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
With Malik Willis and Will Levis playing, and they're both kind of going in and out. We've seen this during the preseason. They both threw, interceptions. They both got sacked 4 times. So, my key matchup is going to be, them and the Titans wide receivers in the secondary, mainly the quarterbacks throwing to our wide receivers. But with that being said, let's go on to our comments here, man. You want to read the next 2?
Yes, sir. All right. Titan Kong, he says, our D-line versus their O-line and stuffing Bijan. Also, we need to have our linebackers cover Kyle Pitts. It's a really good take. That's
Talk
very
about it,
similar
Kong.
yeah, heck yeah. That's very similar to what, me and Gary had just said as well. And also, Titan Kong says, that's why it sucks not having Byron, because I believe he can be the guy to hold down Pitts, and hopefully Edmonds being he's a linebacker slash safety can make the difference, especially against Pitts. That's also a good take. I get your feelings as far as Kevin Byard and what could have been, but as Titans fans, we're just gonna have to find a way to realize that that's not even a possibility, anymore in any of our matchups coming up. So, like you said, like you reverted to, now it's going to be put on Edmonds, and then also the other guy, the one we just picked up from Arizona,
Kayvon.
Kayvon, yeah. So, that's exactly what we've been saying pretty much this whole podcast. These guys that we brought in and made these trades or these pickups for, they're going to have to make it make sense on the field, and that's what we hope to see. Obviously, as Titans fans, that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very good take on that, Titan Kong, and I hope you're right.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing I'd like to kind of bring up here and mention, while we're talking about key matchups, Traylon Burks will be back. So I think Traylon Burks versus the Falcons secondary. This is going to be huge, especially with Will Levis and Malik Willis playing. You know, we need Traylon Burks to have a breakout game. We need D Hop to have another breakout game. You know, in my opinion, I know D Hop's already had a game over 100 receiving yards, but I don't think we've seen a breakout game by D Hop yet. You know, I want to see both of these receivers getting into the end zone, scoring points. You know, and Chig, you know, yeah, Titans Kong right here brings up another good comment here. You know, we need Chig. You know, if the ball hits you in the hand, Chig, you got to come down with it, bro. Like, I'm tired of seeing these drop passes by you. Like, you know, we seen so much more production at this point last year from Chig than what we're seeing now. So hopefully Chig can kind of get in there and reset, and you know, hopefully this bye worked as a reset for a lot of players. You know, maybe we'll see some production out of NWI. I know Malik Willis has some chemistry with NWI from last year because that's all he had to throw the ball to. You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we might see a lot of that. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of matchups in this game that we really got to pay attention to here. Are there any other things you want to kind of bring up before we move on here?
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, dude. And Titan Kong did as well. We've got you said it best, man. And this goes for any receiver in the NFL, not just our Titans receivers. If that ball, if it hits your hands, that is your job. You get paid to catch those. Yeah, I get it. If you got a defender on your back or anything like that, that's part of the game. But you get paid the big bucks to catch those balls that hit your hands. You know what I'm saying? So definitely agree with that. We gotta have that production out of our tight ends to be successful. Not even just in the receiving game, man. Chase got to block better too, or whoever our tight end is in there, they've got to block better. You know, I know that's not reasonable as far as a bad offensive line, but when the tight ends are supposed to block, they become a part of the blocking system with the offensive line. So, you know, that, and I don't know if y'all have seen it or not, but Chig has not been doing all that great blocking or catching the ball. You know what I'm saying? So we need to see that production. I remember in the Chiefs game last season, Malik was in, and that one, I think it was the first pass Chig caught. He got contact like 7 or 8 yards after he caught it, and then just out of nowhere broke out of it and ran down the field. You know, that's the toughness, that's the grit that we need to see from him and the rest of our players moving forward. So, yeah, that's all I got on that.
Yeah, excuse me there, guys. Anyway, yeah, man, you bring in absolute facts there. So guys, let us know in the comments if y'all have any other, you know, key matchups for this game. And while you do that, I'm going to actually want to give a huge shout out to our affiliate sponsor, Fanatics, guys. If you go on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, you can find links to our featured items through Fanatics. Go check out the featured items, or you can go on Fanatics, use code SMORE and get 30% off site-wides. But I want to give a huge shout out to them. Also, guys, you cannot beat the quality that you get from Fanatics, one of the best and biggest sport merchandise places in the world. They house teams, or they house franchises such as the NFL, NBA, NCAA, golf, you name it, it's there. Lids, you know, Nikes, Adidas. You can find just about anything and everything. You guys, if you like stuff hanging on the wall, like back here, you can definitely go check out. They got flags, they got posters, they got, you know, plaques, you name it, you can get it. Thermal cups, everything. So definitely go check out Fanatics, guys. You can find a link to Fanatics on all of our social media platforms, as well as our YouTube page. Sorry. And then with that being said, before we kind of get into my 3 keys of victory here, let's kind of open the floor up for a Q&A, man. Like, you know, if you have a question that you want to ask me, Massey, go ahead.
Okay.
If y'all guys in the comments, Titans Kong or Clowny, if y'all have a question, we're gonna open the floor up. We're gonna do a little Q&A for a second here, and then we'll kind of close out the podcast here.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, first, I want to give a huge shout out to Peyton Manning for giving me his big ass forehead. And also, I'm just kidding, Peyton. If somehow, some way you do see this, I love you. It's all jokes. Please don't come after me. Uh, no, so Q&A. Let's see here. Okay, I got a good one. So far, what not considering what could or couldn't happen for the rest of the season, but so far what we've seen out of Mike Vrabel, do you think there could possibly be a coaching change in the offseason coming?
Man, that's a really good question. I'd say worst case scenario is yes. Best case scenario is no. And I know a lot of people are probably scratching their head like, well, we're tired of seeing blah 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 and this and that, but we got to also remember what Mike Vrabel, came into and what he was able to do for this franchise. I think if we get the right pieces in here, offensively, we get a better O line, stuff like that. Maybe Tim Kelly's the answer at offensive coordinator, maybe not. I definitely understand where fans are coming from with the hate on Tim Kelly because it's just looked completely different. Guys, this is what everybody asked for. We wanted to move the Titans offense from a 1960s type of style of offense into modern day offense, which is a pass first offense. And guys, it takes time to build that. It takes time to change your identity from a run first offense into a pass first offense. You can't just do it overnight or through one off season. It takes time. So with that being said, I think that if we can win four of maybe five of the rest of the games that we have, then I think Vrabel's fine. I think we'll see him here back next year. If we lose every game from here on out, I think that we could very likely see a coaching change. So I think it just depends on what happens, throughout rest of the season. I think right now, he's still kind of. I know his teat's probably heating up a little bit, but I don't think it's boiling hot.
Right.
Do you want to go to the comments real quick?
Yes, sir. Let's see what we got. Yeah.
Not see what we
All
got
right.
right here.
Let's see. So I'll go back up to the top. The last one from him that we haven't read yet from Titan Kong says King Henry stiff arm for the win. I want to see a 50+ yard touchdown. Totally agree. I hope you're right. Let's see that. Moving on to the next comment from Titan Kong. Also, we need to tackle better and at better times and right away. I'm hoping Arden Key makes some noise or somebody in our linebacker core. That's a very great point.
Yes,
I could not agree with you.
Yes. Talk
Could
about
not
it,
agree.
bro.
Yes, sir. And then also the next comment from Titan Kong. Again, we appreciate you, man. You are rocking these comments in here. Appreciate you hanging out with us. He says, I can't see it happening, sadly. The reason why I personally think it's because I feel like our organization is too loyal to him. And reasonably so, but I don't think it changes anything.
Yeah, so that's kind of going on to your question that you asked me. And I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, if you do a head coach change, it's not going to change the personnel that you have. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a coaching change will magically fix what we have happening right now. You can't say, okay, well, we're going to replace Vrabel and then automatically our offensive line is the best O-line in the NFL again. It just don't work like that, Now I get I get kind of where people are being tired of him and wanting to see him go because, some of these decision making that he allows to happen, like keeping Henry out. Like when you have Malik Willis in, why on God's green earth did Derrick Henry not take the field one time when Malik Willis was in the field of play?
Exactly.
And then you get down on the 1 yard line, had a chance to score, and you still keep Henry on the sidelines. It makes no sense. So, yes, there's some questionable decisions going into this, but I don't think that's enough to sit there and say Vrabel could possibly be out of a job at the end of the season. So, guys, if y'all have a question for us, definitely shoot it. It could be anything, whatever you want. In the meantime, let me ask you this question, Massey. Do you think that with where we are right now in the season, do you think that the Titans can pull off a 4 to 5 wins through the remaining, I think, what, 7 or 8 games we have? 10 games.
Yes,
Sorry, ten
yes,
games.
I absolutely believe it's possible. You know, I always revert back to this is the NFL. You know, I know it's completely different seasons, almost completely different team. But that being said, the last time this team was 2-4, we went to the AFC Championship, and there's something that's not different about that, and that's who our head coach is. So I definitely still have the faith in Vrabel. Um, now, you know, this that's a very good question because it could be reverted back to like, okay, if we lose our next game against the Falcons, or even the next game after that, how is this coaching staff and how is the GM's going to take the rest of the season on, you know, moving forward? Um, so I would say yes, 100%. You know, there's 10 total games left to play, and there's 5 of those that are divisional. That's plenty of time, plenty of room to make the playoffs. Now, like I said, I believe in our last podcast that we did on Facebook and stuff. Now, if we get to the point where we're making the playoffs, we don't need to let our heads get too big on that. Because once you're in them, that's when the real ball starts. So you gotta make the efforts that you made to get to the playoffs worth the playoff run afterwards. So to answer your question, yeah, I definitely think it's still possible to turn this thing around. Um, with that being said, you know, if we let go of a couple more star players, we then you know that pretty much answers your question. It's going to have to be by the grace of God and super lucky for us to get 4 to 5 more wins. You know, if we get rid of more big name players.
Facts, bro. Facts. And then Titans Kong comes in here and he says, "I think we can. The reason why, because it is the NFL. Any given Sunday."
sir.
Yeah, you know, definitely. And you know, it's not that far out there, guys. Like, I mean, granted, we're seeing things that we really didn't expect to see this year, but you know, this is a Titans team that last time they were 2-6, they made it to the AFC Championship game. I'm not saying that's the case this year or anything like that, but you know, that is kind of what we're talking about here. And then you want to kind of go into Titans Kong next comment and then kind of talk for a minute while I see what.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's see. So Titan Kong again in the comments, super awesome. Appreciate you being there, brother. He says Titans making the playoffs, and if Derrick Henry is still on the team by then, look out. Absolutely, you know, 100%. And then just like I was saying too, so if they do make the playoffs, obviously they put some pieces of the puzzles that they need to be putting together. So you know, yeah, if you turn things around, still got 10 games left. Still plenty of time to turn stuff around. And like you said, Titan Kong, if you go into this, especially with Derrick Henry still on your team, watch out. You know what I'm saying? Like they're already on top of it. You know what I mean? They've already shown that they're a good enough team to make the playoffs. And like you said, man, especially with Derrick Henry, you take full advantage of having him, having the defense that we have, and all that good stuff. And you know, just basically, it's going to be a smack in the face to all the Titans haters and all the media that's always talking trash about this team. So yeah, you know, it's definitely possible. And like you said, if we do turn things around and make the playoffs and still have Henry, which 9 times out of 10, that's about the only way we're gonna make the playoffs.
Talk about it,
Is
bro.
still having him on our team and using him, not just him being on the team, but using him. You know what I'm saying? We got a great chance to make a long run in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, guys, it's never over till the fat lady sings, and guess what? The fat lady hasn't sung just yet. You know, there's always hope. You know, so don't lose hope. You know, I would even say, you know, if we make no more moves in the you know, before the trade deadline, don't lose hope. There's a reason why they wouldn't make any more moves. You know, at that point, you know. I think this
Yeah.
game against the Falcons will tell us a lot of what we have, you know, moving forward. You know, guys, I'll just be honest, though. I don't I think if we put Ryan Tannehill back in there, it could get ugly pretty fast. Especially with how this O line's producing. I think our best option moving forward will be Malik Willis or Will Levis, either or. Just because they have more health underneath them. But with that being said, let's go to our comments here. Kong comes in and he said, "Someone oh my god, you read that, bro." I'm tongue tied.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. I promise.
Lord, I can't get it out.
All right, Titan Kong in the comments says, someone disrespectfully asked Derek in the media if he wants to go to another team and win a Super Bowl, implying he can't win one with the Titans. King Henry will be on a revenge mission. And that's pretty cool you brought that up, actually, because we kind of had a conversation about that earlier. That is, I mean, when you put it like that, that is kind of disrespectful to ask a NFL player, of any caliber, because like our co-host Blueface said earlier, this is the NFL. He's on the Tennessee Titans. Who's going to go in there to a media day and be like, "Oh yeah, man, I would love to go to another team that's a Super Bowl contender"? Like, that's not going to happen, guys. That's a very, very bad look. And I truly believe in my heart that Henry really does want to be and stay a Titan. I believe that in my heart wholeheartedly. But
it's contagious, bro. It's contagious. Y'all better watch out in the chat, man.
For real, y'all gonna start having typos. But yeah, I mean, like you said, that was a great way to put it. That was a very disrespectful question. And you know, as an NFL player, you're gonna give as heartfelt and honest of an answer that you can while you're sitting there in front of those cameras, in front of those microphones, in front of all of those people that can make these memes and these YouTube shorts and all this stuff and just twist words up and make it look like, whatever it actually wasn't. So yeah, Henry was covering his own butt there, which that's what you're going to do. This is the NFL. It would be so crazy for any NFL team or coach to just get up there, get asked that question and be like, "Oh yeah, man, that would be great. I would love to go to a Super Bowl contending team." No, dude, you gotta have trust and faith in the organization that you are in. You can't have those kind of thoughts in your head. That's just not okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, guys, if y'all have any more questions, like I said, if you have a question for us, definitely shoot them in the comments, and we'll read that out. We'll give you our answer. We'll both answer it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on in the podcast. Let's get into our 3 keys for victory.
Mega win!
All right, guys, so here we go. This is Gary's 3 keys to victory here. So, guys, coming in at number 1 for keys to victory is Henry. I'm going to stick with this theme probably for as long as Henry is on this team. We got to utilize Henry. When Henry has been consistently on the field, when we ran him more than 20 times a game, we have won those games. But every time that we used him less, we've lost. And then, you look at the last game we were in London against the Ravens, when Tannehill went down, right before he went down, guess who got you that production on that scoring drive? Who scored, actually? It was Henry, We got to utilize the king here. Henry is still key to this offense. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe that or admit that, but Henry is the key moving forward here for this Titans offense. And then, guys, coming in at our number 2 is going to be decision-making by the quarterbacks. And I say quarterbacks because I'm talking about Malik Willis and Will Levis. It's going to be kind of a rough go for both these quarterbacks, especially behind this O-line. We kind of talked about our thoughts on both of them, how we think they're kind of similar in aspects. But, guys, we got to have smart decision-making by these quarterbacks. Limit the turnovers, limit the times you get sacked, and, play the best ball that you're capable of playing behind this O-line. And then number 3, guys, is going to be stop the run. Our defense has to stop the run. That's going to be key to beating this Atlanta Falcons offense here. We got to be able to stop the run if we stop the run, then we're going to have to force, we'll force Ritter to have to beat us with our arms, And I think, between Terrell Edmonds and Kayvon, I think we'll be able to. It might not look as pretty as it has, in games past with Kevin Byard being gone. But, guys, I think we still stand a good chance on, kind of limiting the passes. So those are my 3 keys to victory there. With that being said, Massey, what's your thoughts on the 3 keys, bro?
Yes, sir. I mean, definitely great 3 keys to victory right there. And you nailed it, man. I mean, that's exactly what's got to happen. So let's hope that somebody somewhere is listening and watching this podcast that has something to do with the Titans organization. Put those 3 keys to victory that our good friend and the host of this show, Gary Bailey, has put together for y'all. He's giving y'all the answers to the test. Put that stuff together. Go out there and give her all you got, boys.
Oh, man. And then you want to kind of read Kong's next comment there?
Titan King Kong in the building.
Talk about it. Hey, wait. No, it's not Titan Kong this week. It's Oiler Kong.
Hey, I like that. Oiler Kong in the building. All right. So, and he says, and they
see, it's contagious.
And they ridicule him saying he's washed because he plays for us, and then 1 minute they entertain the thought of him being on a team like Cowboys or Ravens, and it tells me they don't respect him. You're right. They definitely don't respect him.
Yeah. Yeah, facts, man.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally what media does. They ask that disrespectful question so they could turn it into something that it wasn't. But Henry handled it like a professional, so they didn't have nothing to like turn around on him because he answered it professionally. So I mean, that for me, yeah, very disrespectful by the media, but what a snapback, what a comeback answer for Henry to basically shut them down on that very unsmart and disrespectful question.
Talk about it. All right, guys, so here we go. We're going to get into our next and semifinal subject here. So let's go ahead and hit it, guys.
All right, guys. So my bold prediction for this week, I'm going to go, I know I say this every week, but, that's what it is. I'm going out on a limb here. It is a bold prediction, but, it is the Matt's Fly High Shy bold prediction. So, I said it in our last podcast. I know she's up there, and eventually I'm going to hit on one or a couple of these going forward in the season. So, for my bold prediction, I'm going to go Big Jeff gets at least 3 sacks, maybe 3+ sacks in this game against the Falcons. Woo! That is my bold prediction. What do you think about it, Gary?
Man, that's fire, bro. If we see a 3+ sack game from Big Jeff, man, I will be like jumping up and down, screaming, bro.
Yes, sir.
I will probably run down the street shirtless, just screaming, "Let's go!"
Butt naked.
No, I'm joking, guys. I wouldn't
Nobody
do that, but yeah, man. No, I think that's very reasonable. Big Jeff is due for a breakout, performance again, and what better team for it to happen on against than the Falcons here?
Talk about it.
All right, guys, and then with that being said, I want to let y'all all know that this episode of What's Shaking Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. And then with that being said, guys, we actually have a huge surprise for all of y'all. Not even Massey knows what this surprise is.
Oh, snap.
So with that being said, guys, let's hit the segment.
It's the final countdown. The final countdown.
All right, guys, joining us now live on the telephone, we got none other than Titans superfan Blueface, a.k.a. Matthew Maddox, for the Blueface's final thoughts. All right, what's going on, Matthew, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
So, bro, it's your time to shine, bro. Let's hear your final thoughts here.
Yeah, final thoughts, man. It's definitely going to be, a fun game to watch. I'm sure, the throwbacks, all the alumni in the building. But I always say, defense, man. I'm expecting some offense. Let's put the rookie out there. Let's see what he can do, man. The guy could have a big day. He could surprise us all. So, I think that the offense is going to have to be a whole lot more high-powered than it has been in the past. Both teams average about 19 points per game. So, I say settle it up, man, and you're just going to have to outscore them, really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Massey, what's your thoughts on that? And I'll kind of relay it to Blue.
Well, first off, I just want to say that was an awesome surprise.
Getting some applause there.
Yes, sir. Man, yeah, you make perfect sense. I love the sound of that, and I truly hope that they do come out firing on offense, man. That was such a great take on that. Super glad you were able to hop in here and give your Blues final thoughts. So, yeah, dude, couldn't agree more, man. I hope you're right.
So basically, Massey is agreeing with everything that you said. He said, "Man, it was definitely a huge surprise to have you join us via phone call here." He definitely wasn't expecting it at all. So
No.
he's definitely glad you were able to join us, man. I'm definitely glad you were able to join us. And guys, just so everybody knows, we're just having some technical difficulties. Once again, last about 2 weeks ago. Our studio actually crashed. I had to replace a bunch of parts and stuff like that in it, and in doing so, we lost everything that we had set up. So we're still having some technical difficulties, working out some glitches, and because of all that, Blue wasn't able to get his stuff working to where he was able to join us. But definitely be tuning in next Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time for an all-new episode of What's Shaking Titans, as we'll do a recap of this throwback game, as well as a recap of the Steelers game, because the Steelers and Titans will be playing Thursday night, so it'll be a short week for the Titans.
And I also want to throw in, for us boys here at What's Shaking Titans, we're always going to find a way to still bring y'all content. Us three guys working together, we're going to make sure that we're able to still give y'all and get y'all some good content. So just please hang in there with us. We're going to get Blueface back in here like he never left. We're going to get everything back on track, back to normal. And we definitely appreciate all your guys' support.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Exactly what Maddox says. We definitely appreciate all your support. We appreciate all the love, guys. If you want to help support us in any way, guys, just go over to our YouTube channel. Guys, you're only watching us right now on YouTube. My bad. I'm used to doing this for Facebook as well. But guys, just subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not yet subscribed. Share our channel out to all your friends. Hit that like button. Turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Guys, the more you share us out, the more people get to know about us and see about us, the more we'll be able to continue to grow. And then, guys, also, another way you can help us grow is if you want sports merchandise. Definitely check out our affiliate sponsor, Fanatics, guys. Go over to Fanatics. Go on to all of our social media platforms. You can find links to our featured items that we have through Fanatics. Definitely purchase them, guys. Or if that's not what you want, you can PM us on any of our accounts and tell us something that you're interested in. We can add that into our featured items as well. But guys, definitely go over to Fanatics. You can use code SMORE and get 30% off site-wide.
I love s'mores.
S'mores.
I love s'mores.
S'more. And then,
But yeah, man, you guys definitely go check out Fanatics. They got all your sports gears that you could ever even imagine on there. So use that promo code and get you 30% off as well. But yeah, man, what a great podcast. It's definitely unfortunate that we had the technical difficulties with Blueface, but super great podcast, man. I absolutely love doing this with you two. And again, I know I say it almost every week, but it's such an honor to be a part of this. And I'm definitely looking forward to the future with all you guys, man. Like all of our supporters, you, Gary, Maddox. The sky's the limit for us, and there's nothing that's going to stop us from growing. So thank y'all, and thank everybody else that watches us and supports us as well.
Definitely want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the comments once again, from Titans Kong all the way to Clowny to Blueface. All of y'all guys, we definitely appreciate all of y'all. We appreciate the time that y'all taken to just sit here and go through the show with us. Want to bring up one last comment here, and it's actually not going to let me, so I'll just read it. But it's from Titans Kong. Actually, I can do it like this. Sorry. Titans Kong said, "Love you guys and your podcast. Tighten up, my fellow Titans." So yeah, guys, tighten up, man. That's all. Actually, Oiler up, guys. Let's Oiler up. Let's Oiler up, man. It's gonna throwback week, guys. You hear the throwback song playing in the background right now? It's time to Oiler up. And then he also says, "You guys are on point and the best." So, dude, we definitely appreciate that, man. We love you, Titans Kong. Definitely, man. Stay in here. Definitely tune back in next Friday. Who knows? We actually might drop an episode before Friday. We might drop one Tuesday, depending on all of our schedules. But definitely be looking out on social media. We'll announce that when the time comes. With all that being said, we love you guys. Once again, if you're not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take this time to hit the subscribe button, as well as turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video and we'll pop up more often. And guys, if you don't know, we have a Facebook page, a Facebook group. You can find our Facebook page at What's Shaking Titans. Our Facebook group is called Talking Titans with What's Shaking Titans. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, all the platforms, guys. Definitely go check us out. With all that being said, take care. We love y'all. Oiler up.
Oiler up!
Oiler up. Let's go.
Are you done?
Love you blue, you know that we do. We'll always be true, 'cause we love you blue. Yes, we love you blue. Love you blue, you know that we do. We'll always be true, 'cause we love you blue. Yes, we love you blue. Love you when you're passing. Love you on the run. Love you scoring touchdowns. Oilers #1. Love you blue. You know that we do. We'll always be true, 'cause we love you blue. Yes, we